Oh, what is this? Let's talk about this and the game. What is up, Fin fans? Yes. Before I jump into the preview for the Dolphins-Browns game, before I talk about injury reports, before I talk anything, you want to talk about this, and it came in my merch. If you want it, you can get it. It's linked below. Stay classy. Fins up. It's linked below in the merch. Sean, or as you guys like to know him as Spegbite Gaming, he's got his merch ready. I think 2 more of you guys have bought your merch. So for you guys that are getting your merch, hopefully you get it soon. You get it, send me a picture, and I'll pop it up. But my merch is available. I got myself a piece. I got my dad one. That's his shirt. And you can get it below. It's linked to merch. But other than that, let's jump into this. Miami Dolphins heading to Cleveland, take on the Browns. So I've noticed that for a lot of you guys, this is an important game. You really want the Dolphins to beat the Cleveland Browns. And I notice a lot of you guys are in the Cleveland, Ohio area. So it means a lot to you guys if the Dolphins, or hopefully the Dolphins, beat the Cleveland Browns. So like usual, we'll go into the injury report. Then I'm going to talk about a few things. 5 things the Dolphins need to do to beat the Cleveland Browns. I'll give you guys my prediction on what I think is going to happen with the game. All that stuff. Get you guys comment of the day. And then some other stuff. So let's jump into the injury report and pop it up on my face. So if you can tell, the injury report is not as long as it normally is. That's because a lot of our guys are on injured reserve. But everyone full practice. No one didn't practice. Davenport practiced, which is good. He had a full practice, even though he got taken out of the game last week. Fitzpatrick, he's shoulder right, forearm right. His whole right arm is getting tired. That's not too good for him, but everyone else is pretty much doing fine. And then you look at the Browns. We'll look at the Browns real quick. Odell was on there, but the only ones that didn't practice were Eric Murray and Olivier Burnett. Now, like I said, when it comes to our injury report, it normally was long as crap, but, Rashad Jones and Bobby McCain going to IR. We bring in some more people, some corners and this and that. We made some moves, so all of a sudden our injury report got a lot shorter. But we got a good amount of guys on injured reserve. Ginkle is officially on the roster. Obviously, you know about Davenport. He played last week. So hopefully we get to see Ginkle play this week against the Cleveland Browns. Raekwon McMillan supposedly had a brace on his leg, I think it was. But he should be fine. He should play. But yeah, I'll talk about some other things. But when it comes to the injury report, this team is banged up. Especially in the secondary, super banged up. I'll talk about that in my 5 things the Dolphins need to do to beat the Cleveland Browns. But before we get to that, before we jump into that, obviously the main talk about this game is going to be Jarvis Landry's revenge game. It is what it is. Now, is it technically a revenge game? Yeah, I guess, because, the Miami Dolphins didn't want to pay him the $16 million that he wanted per year. They thought that he wasn't worth that much. They thought he was worth more around the $12 million a year ballpark, and I'm one of them. I do think the same. I'm like, $15 million is a little too much. And if you look at the productivity out of him since he left Miami, he didn't play a full year last year, and even this year, his best years were in Miami. He has 3 touchdowns on the season. Devontae Parker has more touchdowns than him on the season. I wanted Jarvis Landry to stay, just to go back in time. If you want, you can go back in the video in this channel and check out me talking about it. I want him to stay, but I just think that the price was too much money for it, and I'm still sticking to that. I think it was too much, and I would have liked it. If Miami was smart, they would have gave him a contract extension before he was the year before. $12 million a year, he would have signed it, and we would have been having Jarvis, but that's not what happened. So this is his revenge game. We'll see what happens. But like I said, I'll talk about it. So being that, let's jump into the 5 things the Miami Dolphins need to do to beat the Cleveland Browns. Again, no specific order. I say this every week. It's just when I'm doing my research. Number 1, no turnovers. No turnovers. That is the thing that constantly kills this team. We get on a stride, we start moving, we start doing our thing like a chicken wing, and then a turnover. And then a turnover. Like the first time we played the Bills, marched down the field with a 14-9 record, we throw an interception, that was the downslide, and then a Preston Williams fumble. It was just da-da-da-da-da. Last week, we were struggling. We held them to a bunch of field goals. We were struggling, but we were bend not break defense. Get the touchdown. They get a touchdown. They kick it off to us. We have the kick. No, sorry. We then proceed to onside kick it. Get the ball back. Allen Hurns fumbles the ball. There goes your momentum killer. We still get the kick return for a touchdown, but it's just constant momentum killers when we get turnovers. So we really, especially with a young, inexperienced team that does not have talent on it. There's a little bit of talent on this team. You need to not have turnovers and limit those mistakes. Number 2, we got to stop the run. Their running back, Chubb, is nothing to balk about. There's nothing to laugh about. He is a good running back. And if we can't stop the run like we've had a hard time this season, last week we couldn't stop Josh Allen if our life depended on it. But if we need to stop the run and we need to contain it, especially if Baker Mayfield's going to start running like Josh Allen. Any type of running, we need to contain it and keep it in the air, which... talk about that in a second. The number 3 thing is if we're going to stop the run, if we're going to limit their offense and make them a one-dimensional offense, then we have to get some type of pressure on Baker Mayfield. Josh Allen had years to throw in the pocket last week. Years. Made him look ridiculous. Got AFC Offensive Player of the Week last week. And then he got it in week 7 when he played the Dolphins again. Got to get pressure on these quarterbacks in any way you possibly can. Get pressure on these flipping, flapping quarterbacks, please. Number 4. The number 4 thing the Miami Dolphins have to do, get some type of run game, please. For the love of God in heaven, some type of run game. I do not want to see Ballage on the field. Maybe in the red zone, but other than that, let's get some Gaskins and some Laird in there. And for the love of God, O'Shea, put Cox in and have him block. And if not have him block, have him roll out and dump the ball off to him. Or have him pass block and help the offensive line that's struggling. Come on. These are things that everyone should know on the team, that they should be seeing these things. All right, Ballage is having a horrible time hitting the pocket, hitting the holes, which was the thing, again, I'll say it for the 400th time, of his fault of coming out of the college. He had a hard time doing this. So take him out, put Laird in, put Gaskins in, and have Cox help out with the running and the pass blocking. Please, for the love of God, some type of run offense. I know it depends on the offensive line. I know it depends on the trenches. And yeah, the offensive line is hot garbage. The defensive line is hot garbage. That's why 2 of the things on there, the run and get pressure, are both on the trenches. But what are you going to do? You're not going to start adding players now. We're almost done with the season. So come on, let's get this ball rolling. And the 5th and final thing the Miami Dolphins have to do to beat the Cleveland Browns is the secondary has to step up somehow. Somehow they have to step up. That's asking a lot. Now, don't get me wrong. They're facing Jarvis Landry. They're facing Odell. I think Njoku is back. Nick Needham is doing his thing. Eric Rowe is doing his thing. Parker, maybe he might see more time in the secondary. Not Devontae, the other Parker. Ken Webster, if he's back. It's just, the secondary needs to do something. We have a lot of no-names, a lot of nobodies, a lot of guys that are just fighting for their jobs at this point. At safety, Walt Aikens is probably going to head up back there. We got Eric Rowe. It's going to be hard, but you got to do something. It's got to step up and prove that, hey, we could stop these 2 receivers. So those are the 5 things that the Miami Dolphins need to do to beat the Cleveland Browns. Now, Cleveland Browns are 4-6. They are 2 games better than the Miami Dolphins. They have added so many players. They have done so much in the offseason. Odell, Olivier Vernon, Sheldon Richardson, drafting players, doing, so many moves. You had this huge team, and all of a sudden everyone's, Browns are going to the Super Bowl, Browns are going to the Super Bowl, Browns are going to the Super Bowl. And if you remember in my offseason videos, I said, if they don't succeed, if they don't make the playoffs, they have to have a minimum of a 9 to 10 win season, or it's a failure, and their fan base is going to be beyond pissed. And it started to happen. You could see Baker Mayfield started having his press conferences where he looked like he just got done doing a drinking binge overnight. Cleveland Browns need to perform more than they are, and they're not that much better than the Dolphins, but they have that much more talent than the Dolphins. That being said, me as a Dolphin fan, I want my Miami Dolphins team to win. I'm one of the fan base that wants the team to win. I don't care about draft picks. It's about who you pick, not where you pick. A lot of coaches have said that. But taking my brain out of my Dolphin body and putting it into a non-objective, it's just going to be very hard for the Dolphins to win, and it's going to be very hard to see the Dolphins win when you are going against Odell, Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb, and Njoku if he's back on a team that has no secondary, can't stop the run, can't pressure the quarterback. So if I'm a betting man, I'm picking the Browns to win this one, but me and my Dolphins heart, I'm rooting for my team to win, and I hope and pray that they win, but this is going to be hard with the type of secondary the Miami Dolphins have right now. So be sure to comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your 5 things. Let me know about the merch. If you like the merch, if you like what you see, comment below. Let me know who you think is going to win, the Browns or the Dolphins. If you're a Browns fan, what do you think you guys need to do to beat the Dolphins? And don't just say nothing, because again, teams that have looked past the Dolphins tend to lose to the Dolphins. Yes, we have a lot of nobodies on our team, but we can fight, and we've shown it twice. So be sure to comment below, and let me get to one of your guys' comments of the day. And this comment comes from Anthony, and he says to me, in your opinion, what are the 3 things the Dolphins need to do to have a sustainable success in the upcoming years? This is a very good question, because what the Miami Dolphins are doing is building for that sustainable success. Now, 3 things. 1, I'm sorry, and this is a huge debate with Dolphin fans. This is a huge debate with a ton of people. First and foremost, geez, I couldn't even get that out. You have to have some type of trench, offense and defense. Some type of trench where you can't have the opposing team run all over you and have time in the pocket, and you have to give your quarterback some type of chance and be able to move the ball. You got to have that. You also need to have, and again, this is a huge debate, in my eyes, in my opinion, and it's shown when with these teams that have sustainable success, they have a quarterback. They don't have a guy that you build around, because then that tends to start to fall apart. Because if you look at like Trent Dilfer, if you look at these guys that are one-hit wonders in the Super Bowl, it's because they're an okay quarterback that had a team around them. Like Jared Goff last year, he's an okay quarterback, and he got to the Super Bowl and lost because he couldn't do what he needed to do. That Patriot defense took away his run game, and then they forced him, hey, you need to pick us apart, and he couldn't do it because he's not an elite quarterback. So that's 2. And 3, you need to have young talent. You got to constantly have this young talent. And that's what the Dolphins are doing with the draft picks and with the cap capital. They're going to pick up all this young talent that they can keep, that they can build off of, and farm their own talent. That's what you need. You need to have great trench play. You need to have a quarterback. I don't care what you say, because if your quarterback can't make the throws, your quarterback can't win the games. He needs to make the throws, and he needs to read defenses and do the right things, and you need to have good draft picks, sustainable young talent. Those are the 3 things that the Dolphins need to do to have success, and I think that they will. I really do. So, Anthony, that was a very, very good question. Thank you very much. But tomorrow, Saturday, I will be going live 1 p.m. for about an hour or so. I'm not going to be going live for about an hour, just to, I like to talk to you guys, see what you guys' heads are at with the upcoming game, all that stuff. So tomorrow, Saturday, I will be going live. Other than that, be sure to follow me on Twitter. I'm tweeting things as soon as news breaks, as soon as all this stuff breaks, I tweet it out, talk about it. I'm going to start tweeting out merch. So if you don't know where to get my t-shirts from, I also have hoodies. They come in green, they come in white, black, and blue, like a dark blue. I'll tweet it out, so be sure to follow me on Twitter. Check out the Bit Boys. December's coming up. We have Christmas games coming out, so be sure to go check that out. Subscribe if you like it. We just broke 500 because you guys, 507, got 8 new subscribers since my last time I've been telling you guys this, so I greatly appreciate it. If you guys like what you see, be sure to go over, check it out, subscribe. I'm also starting a second channel calling DouglieDoWrong. studios where it's not, I'm going to be talking about movie reviews, going to upload my skits because I have a degree in media and I want to start making scenes, and all that other stuff. So this is going to be Dolphins, and then I'm going to make a second channel where I do my artistic video stuff. So if you like that stuff, I'll tell you when it's up. You can go check that out, subscribe to that, give the video a thumbs up. Because the team is going to fight. This is going to be entertaining. We are 10.5-point underdogs. I honestly don't think it's going to be that wide. If you're a betting man, I would bet the Dolphins to cover. I honestly don't think that we'll lose by 10. It's going to be a hard game. It's going to be a hard-fought game. And give this video a thumbs up because you think the Dolphins are going to win. I hope and pray. I really do. I'm the mindset of I'd rather be surprised than let down. So I'm like going into this like we have no secondary. It doesn't look good, but I really hope we do. Also, when you give a thumbs up, puts it out to the universe. We get more guys in here and get more subscribers. So be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Check out DolphinsTalk.com, Sportscaster. I'm going to be live streaming tomorrow, like I said. You can also see it on Sportscaster, DolphinsTalk.com. Great site, great Dolphin content. Check it out. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. If you're a Cleveland Browns fan, you like the content, you like my unbiased opinion of your team, which, again, you guys are good. Hit the subscribe button. If you're a new Dolphins fan, hit the subscribe button. I make these videos regardless of the record. I got a ton of ideas planned. Breaking down prospects, draft, gonna live stream it. Got so much ready for you guys. So hit the subscribe button. Other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow, 1 p.m. Gonna go live for a little bit, but like usual, stay classy. Fins up.